Ibagué is the capital of Tolima, one of the 32 departments that make up the Republic of Colombia. The city is located in the center of the country, on the central mountain range of the Colombian Andes, near Nevado del Tolima. It is one of the most populous cities in the country with over 500,000 inhabitants, making it the 7th most populous in Colombia. It is the main epicenter of political, economic, administrative, business, art, culture, and tourism activities in the area. The city is known as the musical capital of Colombia thanks to the Conservatory of Tolima, one of the most prestigious and important in Colombia, and its folklore festivities and its monuments referring to music. The first expedition members arrived at a place they called El Valle de las Lanzas, meaning Valley of the Spears, where they were detained and diverted by the native tribes, who denied the conqueror passage, starting a cruel war that would last 60 years and cost 4,000 Spanish men and 40,000 Indians. The Titamo indigenous resistance was led by the chief of Ambiana, ruler of the Cuello River Basin, and the chief Cucuana Kikima, ruler of the Cucuana River Basin, who harassed and fought in various encounters the passage of Andrés López de Galarza, member of the Royal Chamber of Castilla in Madrid and the treasurer of the Royal Audience. The continuous attack by the native forced López de Galarza to request reinforcements that arrived under the command of Captain Melchor Valdez. Despite these reinforcements, they weren't gaining much ground and moved to a region called Anaima, which today is where now lies the urban area of the neighboring municipality of Cajamarca, about 42 kilometers to the west of Ibagué's current whereabouts. The indigenous Pijaos, commanded by Cacique Ibagué, were not fond of the Spaniards colonizing the area, so the city was refounded in its current location on February 7, 1551, which makes it one of the oldest cities in America. Until the beginning of the 17th century, Ibagué served no more of a purpose than to protect the encomienda of Gaspar Rodriguez del Olmo under the siege of the Pijao natives. On October 28th of 1602, a Pijao assault took place to recover some Indian women who had been kidnapped by the conquistadors for their servitude in the San Bonifacio fort. Following these events, campaigns were carried out from Ibagué in an attempt to pacify the Pijao, but these efforts proved unsuccessful. Despite their difficulties in securing the area, the crown was still able to develop Ibagué thanks to the criollos, mestizos, and castizo settlers, their motivation being the gold and silver deposits found in the Combema River. This region is rich in deposits of this metal due to its location in front of the volcanoes Nevado de Tolima and Cerro Machín. In 1854, the National Congress met in Ibagué, under the presidency of Senators Pedro Fernández Madrid and Salvador Camacho Roldan, to try President José María Obando and entrust Vice President José de Obaldía with executive power. This happened in the National Building, where years back in 1811, the Congress of the United Provinces of New Granada, chaired by Camilo Torres Tenorio, called the Verb of the Revolution, and today are the offices of the Directorate of National Taxes. Ibagué's economy was activated in 1887 and is declared the capital of Tolima Grande. After 1930, it took the first sudden leap in its demographic growth and began its slow transformation from town to city. The next notable increase in population occurs in the mid-20th century, with the peasant exodus that caused the phenomenon known as la violencia, characterized by the confrontation between the two historical Colombian parties, experienced with special intensity in this region. Thanks to the musical likings that mestizo and criollos have, music is a driving factor for the culture of this municipal seat. 200 years of culture scores the happy native musical airs with dances such as the bambuco, the bunde tolimense, the raja leña, and the San Juanero, or make an imprint in waltzes with new rhythms such as pasillos and guabinas. European rebels with Republican ideas and enlightened in the flourishing arts of European painting, literature, and music traveled through the routes of the Americas. In 1886, it is visited by a French subject known as Count Gabriac, who named it a musical city, when he realized the importance that its inhabitants attached to music and the talent of its artists. After this, a musical taste appeared in the rising aristocracy of the city, which promoted the appearance of music schools that would eventually give rise to the Ibagué Conservatory, which is considered one of the most important musical schools in the country. One of the most recognized and important cultural events in Colombia is the Folk Festival, which takes place every year in this capital, in the month of June between the festivals of San Juan and San Pedro. The Ibagué Folk Festival was born in 1959 with the purpose of stimulating those traditional autochthonous and cultural values of the city and underlining its authentic musical character. Today, the Folklore Festival is the oldest and most representative, permanently developed cultural activity in the department of Tolima, in terms of music and folklore. Among the highlights of this important festival are the election and coronation of the National Folklore Queen, which takes place in the city's acoustic shell and where each of the candidates shows a small part of folklore from each of their departments, either with dancing, singing, or playing an autochthonous instrument of their respective region. Ibagué bases its economy on the industrial sector, having several of the most recognized companies in Colombia. As for the primary sector, there is livestock, agriculture, and mining. In addition, rice and cotton crops stand out. At the same time, it is a large producer and exporter of coffee, making it a part of the Colombian coffee growing axis. Ibagué has great relevance in terms of the textile industry, being the third textile city in the country, after Medellin and Bogota, with important companies, and thanks to this, the month of August is celebrated with the Ibagué Maquila and Fashion event. According to the Doing Business report from the World Bank in Washington, D.C., Ibagué tops the ranking of cities with the greatest ease of doing business and investment in the country, after only Manizales. Ibagué maintains one of the major urban economies of Colombia and could grow in prominence within South America, with its development potential and competitive national and international business centers, industry, and infrastructure. Besides the aforementioned folk festival, there are many different national and ecological parks that you can visit to enjoy the area's flora and fauna. The biggest attraction, literally, is the snow-capped Nevado del Tolima volcano, which can be summited with a guided multi-day trek. If you didn't bring your cold weather clothing or are looking for a more casual adventure, there's the nearby Combema Canyon, where you can see waterfalls and explore a tropical forest environment and appreciate the area's magnificent biodiversity. I made several videos of the Combema Canyon and its lovely towns, and you can find those videos in the playlist linked in the description for this video. And in that description, you can also find a link to another playlist that I made of the first time that I traveled through Colombia. This was on a bicycle, part of a larger trip bicycling through Latin America. And I have playlists for all those countries that I bicycled through Latin America, Eastern Africa, Central and Eastern Europe, etc., all available on this very same YouTube channel, Hum of the Earth. Alternatively, if you'd like to see an interactive map of everywhere that I went and everything that I got to see and do, I have that map available over at my website, followthehumoftheearth.com. Where you can click on the different locations on the map and see the various videos and blog posts that I made of these places. And if you'd like to follow my continuing adventures through Colombia and beyond, you can do so by clicking on the red subscribe button below the video and clicking on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. Alright, so that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.